Hi everybody, this is Sandy Reese with StampACrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I want to welcome you to our weekly tutorial. Our current mini catalog, the January through June mini catalog, is going to be expiring at the end of this month. So I thought I would go through and see if there was anything that I had purchased that I had not used yet. And I found 2 stamp sets, so I'm going to feature one this week and one next week, just to share the love with you because I like these so much, and for some reason I just didn't have a chance to use them in class or you know, on a video yet. So before we get started on that, I just wanted to share with you a good friend of mine, Kay Cogbill, and I are doing a Stampin' Cruise, and it's going to be in February. I will post the link in the description of the video on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, you can just look in this group and search for Stampin' Cruise, and the information will all pop up. It'll be February 27th through March 6th. We are leaving out of New Orleans. That's the closest port for where we live. We're all in Arkansas, Missouri, and this area. So we're really excited. It's a 7-night cruise, I think, leaving out of New Orleans. We're going to Cozumel, Costa Maya, Harvest Cay in Belize, and Roatan in, where's that, Honduras, I think. So we have some ports of call, and then we have 2 days on our days at sea that we'll be doing our stamping events. So we've got 6 great classes, we have gifts, we have all kinds of stuff planned. So we'd love for you to come and join the cruise. The deadline to sign up for this deal is June 30th. So there's a few weeks left. It's, let's see, June 30th. And you have to both sign up for the stamping portion. There's a link that's in the blog post. And then you have to call the travel agent and book your room by the 30th to secure this rate. Now, if we have space available, we will keep it open, but it may be a different deal. So it just depends on the cruise line. So we do have limited stamping space. We already have people registered. So, you know, I would, you know, do it as soon as you can. At least sign up for the stamping portion so that we know how much room we have, and you don't miss out on a spot. So just wanted to let you know. I'm very excited. I've been thinking about this for a couple of years, and I talked Kay into doing it with me. So, so here we are. So super excited. Okay, so we have Catherine on. Hey, Catherine. I'm gonna flip you all upside down here. Let's get this flipped and put our camera down, and we're gonna get started with whoops. What happened there? My phone slipped out. Let me get it back in. Sorry. Technical difficulties today. Okay. I got a sticky pad that came off my holder. I'll have to stick that back on. All right. So as you can see, we are doing the Wrapped Bouquet Bundle. So it comes with this Wrapped Bouquet stamp set and then the Wrapped Flowers dies. Something about this spoke to me. I don't know. I think it was just this image. I just love that. And then the dies cut out this image. We have a little tag. We have lots of great leaves, and we have one more. I've kind of set this aside because I'm going to use this. This is the wrap. So you can die cut this and then wrap it around these little bundles, or these little bundles of flowers. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're going to start with our first card. This is some simple stamping. I love this card. It's using one of our note cards and envelopes, and it only uses a few pieces of cardstock. I cut 2 of these just in case I messed up. But we're going to take, I'm going to set that there. You can still see that while I'm making it. we're just going to take our note card. And because we're doing some coloring with blends, I didn't want to color on the card itself because it will bleed through a little bit, and I don't want that. Nobody wants bleeding through on their card. So we are going to, for some reason I thought I stamped everything, but I guess I didn't on this one. So let's grab this beautiful big bouquet, which was my favorite image. We're going to ink this up with some Memento ink. Memento is the best ink to use with the blends, although you can use some of the other colors. I've done that before too. So my goal is to get this centered on my white cardstock. So let's see how that goes. Yay! All right, and then we're going to stamp a sentiment. So we'll go ahead and stamp that too. And this is a little thank you card. So I'm going to do thanks, friend. We are going to use every single stamp in here today, which I'm very excited about. I like it when I can use all the stamps in a video. Okay, let's see if we can get this stamp straight. Thanks, friend. It's a little bit low. Let me try it one more time. Oh, that's better. I'm going to save this for my scrap drawer. Okay, that goes in the scraps. You may see it again one day. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to get these cleaned off because we may need those again. All right, now we're just going to do a little bit of coloring. My color today, my theme color today is polished pink. So I have my polished pink blends, and I'm going to just color my flowers. That's all I'm going to color today on this card. So I'm going to start with my darker, and I'm just going to put maybe a little shading where some of the flowers overlap, just a little bit of the dark. Okay, put some in the middle there, and overlap there. Okay. I don't get too technical. Today is not a coloring tutorial. Then I'm just going to fill it in with my light polished pink. All right. I'm just trying to stay in the lines, you guys. That's all I want. Okay, not super successful yet. But you get the drift. Even though I'm wearing my new glasses, still not super great at coloring in the lines, but that's all right. I know the rest of you can color better. There's a little gap. I'm just going to fill that in. I think that's part of the flower back there. Okay. Okay, and we'll just do a little bit of the blending here. All right, if I went out of the line, don't look too close. All right, I'm going to use a little wink of Stella just on the flowers, just because I want a little extra. Just a little extra sparkle. Okay. So I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there you go. You can see all that fun shimmeriness on there. Okay. So next we are just going to adhere. See how that bleeds through? We don't want that on our card. So if you're coloring with the blends, you want to make sure you color on a piece that adheres to your card front, because nobody wants to see that stuff on the inside of your card. All right, so next I have a little bit of black baker's twine. We have this in the new catalog. It comes in a pack. It has, let's see, I think it has, the colors are black, Sahara sand, white, and crumb cake. Now I have this left over, so I'm using this up before I break into my new pack. so it looks a little different on the short spool. And I am a hoarder of all things twine, so if I have a chance to hoard some twine, I'm doing it. All right, now I think I might rotate this just a little bit. I tend to tie my bows upside down for some reason. I don't know why. All right, I've got a couple of dimensionals. These are pretty big. You don't need them that big. You could probably do with one. These are leftover paper pumpkin dimensionals, which is what I keep on my stamping desk if I have them. Lots of great leftover pieces in paper pumpkin. Okay, and we're gonna just pop this on here. I tied that ribbon around twice. Okay, then pop that up, and then final touch, let's add some rhinestones to the center of our flowers. These are the medium size. So we usually have small, medium, and then a whole bunch of small, some medium, and some large. And I'm using medium on that one. Oh, it's so shiny. Look at how shiny that is. Okay, so that's some real simple stamping, just a little bit of cardstock, some stamping, and some coloring. Okay, so now we have our next card. This is a fun fold, okay? So we're using our polished pink again. That's the color for the day. Some of our new In Color Designer Series paper. I did throw a little punch in because I wanted to add a sentiment there. And then stamp and die cut that same bouquet. So we stamped it first, and now we're going to die cut it. And then a fun fold where it's center opening and kind of an easel. So I don't know what you call this, a center easel card maybe? Isn't that sweet? Okay, let me put that here and kind of keep that right there so you can keep that in mind. All right, so I'm gonna pull out my pieces, and I will have all the measurements and supplies on my blog later today. So I'm just folding this in half. You know, I didn't even score it, I just folded it in half. All right, now I'm gonna open it up, and this is where you need your trimmer. I'm gonna bring my trimmer in, and I'm gonna cut 1 inch in on this side and 1 inch in on this side up to that score line, okay? So let's get that out of the way. So on this side, I'm gonna go to the 1 inch on the right side of my cutting channel and go down to that score line. Let's see, oh, I can feel it. That's kind of why I folded it first, because you can feel when you hit that right there. All right, now I'm gonna scooch it over to the 1 inch here. So we can measure 1 inch from both sides of this cutter. Hold that down, just feel it. It's like cracking a safe. You can feel, I've never cracked a safe, but I imagine that's what it would feel like. All right, now I need to score. So let me move that out of the way and bring my scoring blade up. And I want to score halfway, right in the middle of this center piece. So that's 2 1/8. I'm going to flip it this way. Let me find 2 1/8 right here. And then I only want to score that center panel. So I'm going to move it down to the 1 inch right here. And then just kind of give it a good score in between. And I can see I have that score line right there. That's all I'm going to need my trimmer for. And then let's fold on that score line. Okay. And give that a good crease. Looks like it's saying that, you know, I love you, or everything's okay symbol, like that. Or the horns, whatever, you know, that means a lot of things. So, okay, so next we're going to, I've cut a few pieces, 4 pieces of the designer paper. So these are each, I think, 7/8 by 4 1/8, and these are 3 3/8 by 2. So I've got 2 pieces here on these panels and 2 pieces, and I chose kind of different patterns, 2 different patterns that I thought complemented each other. So let's get these stuck down here. This designer paper's fun because it actually has 4 patterns. There's different patterns on each side, which is always nice to have a choice. All right. And I chose to do just very narrow narrow like frames or margins because it's color on color. Okay, now we're going to glue these 2 outside panels down. So let's just take a little bit of this, and I want to make sure it's lined up with my card back. Okay, and let's put some adhesive on this one. Make sure it's flush with the back. All right, there we go. And then I have a piece of white to glue on the inside, so we can do some writing if you would like. And I'm just going to center it right here. Okay, now I did stamp and die cut this just to save a little bit of time. So let's do a little coloring on this. Now I want to add a little extra color, so I thought I would make this like old newspaper and just use a little bit, and this is just light crumb cake. I didn't even use the dark crumb cake, first of all, because I don't know where it is. I think it's in one of my boxes for my classes this month, because I'm just like, where the heck did my dark crumb cake marker go? And I don't know. So what I did, just color it very lightly all over, and then in the little shadow areas, I'm just going to go back over it once or twice. Just do a little bit of shading there, maybe even inside. And you can see just a little bit of shading right there. That's all I need. That's not my focal point. Now we're going to color our flowers again. And I am sorry if this is painful to watch, my horrible coloring. And I probably should have colored the flowers ahead of time. But we'll just maybe try to speed it up a hair. Put a little bit darker there. Okay. And once again, polished pink, color for the day. I love pink. I love pink so much, I'm wearing my pink shirt today, even though it's an older one. So while we're doing this, if you want to post below, tell me if you like bright pink, if you like soft pink, if you don't like pink. I much prefer darker, brighter pink, but I will go with soft pink if I need to. And when in doubt, if I have a choice between anything peachy or coral colored, I will go with pink. Pink it is. I do a little bit of coral and like, what's the other color? We have the new one that's kind of a peachy color. What's that called? Oh, it's right here. What's that called? Pale Papaya. Yep, I do use that occasionally because I know some of you like those colors. Even though I would do everything in pink and black and gray if I could. All right, let's do just a tad bit of coloring on this. The leaves are pretty much black, but there's some little white veins in them. So I just added a little bit of whatever green. I think this is mint macaron, but you could use whatever green you have. Okay, now I used the double oval punch, and what I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment. And I want to use all of these. So I'm going to do Love You Bunches. I'm going to stamp it in our gorgeous polished pink ink. And and hopefully get this on straight, unlike my sample, which I don't think was straight. Well, that's close enough. Close enough for today. I do have to stamp one more thing. Hold on. For the sentiment, now these are smaller sentiments in here, so if you look, they're kind of small, more squarish. I wanted a long sentiment to go inside, and I wanted a birthday because this does not have a birthday stamp, which is okay because not all of them do. But I just pulled out Friends Are Like Seashells because I like this font to say, to have a nice little birthday stamp. Let's get this on here. It says, happy birthday to, what does it say? To my beautiful friend. That's it. Because all of my friends are beautiful. So I'm going to just stamp this right in the center. Get this cleaned off. All right, I think that's all our stamping. So we're going to pop this up on the inside, a couple of dimensionals. You only need 2. And this is cut the same length as the inside of the card. And I want it to pop up enough to show that it's an easel card, but I want to leave room so you can do some writing there. So that's right about where I want it. And then we're going to adhere the white oval to our little scalloped oval. I love this little oval punch. This is it right here. It's in the new big catalog. It was in the mini catalog and carried over. And then I want to run my my white twine through my tag here. Whoops. I got my little mechanical pencil. When I'm going to punch a little hole, I always do a little circle so I get my placement right. And then I'm using this tag punch only because it has a hole or it has like a big slot for like a wider ribbon. But then I can find that hole or the little dot that I did, punch the hole so it's in just the right place. Get that. You can see it. I don't know if you can see that. Very handy to do that. Okay, so now we're going to stick these on the front. And white baker's twine, where are you? I'm going to stick it behind the little tag here, and then just kind of hold that in place, pull it around. I want to tie a little bow here, so let me kind of play with it and see how much I need. Okay, that should be plenty for a bow. And I'm going to pop this up just to hold it in place. We'll put one here, maybe one here. Kind of hold that ribbon attached to it. And I'm gonna pop that up right here. We'll bring this ribbon around and tie it in a bow right on top of that knot. Okay. This is one where you want to try to get your bow tight, because if it's loose, you could maybe pull up a little slack right here, but it's you don't want to put tape on the back of your card. Yuck. So you might, if it's loose, you might want to retie it or tie a knot first and then tie it. Okay, I'm gonna hold this down right there, and I'm gonna put one more dimensional right at the bottom of my bouquet. I don't want to put any adhesive up on the top. That has to be loose. So you only want your adhesive near the on the bottom panel right here. And you want to make sure your flowers don't go past the top of your card, because this needs to all fit in your envelope. It can go over to the side, it just can't go, I wouldn't put it above or below. All right, so let's add a few rhinestones. I'm not going to put them on the flower this time. I'm just going to add them to the card. Look at that little one there. We're just going to use whatever's left on this sheet here. Put one there. We do have some sparkle already on the flower, so it's just a different, you don't have to put rhinestones on the flowers. And there you go. Isn't that sweet? I love that card. Okay, mostly because it's pink, but I also love the flowers. Okay, now we're going to go to our last project today. We're doing a fun black and white card with a pop of color. And let's pull in our supplies. Okay, so I just have a half sheet of thick basic white cardstock. I'm gonna fold this guy and give it a good crease. And then this is a piece of the True Love Designer Series paper, I think it is. This will be leaving us at the end of the month. I may be stocking up on this because I love this paper. I love that it's floral on one side and graphics on the other side, and that it's only black and white, so it can go with any color. During our retreat this spring, we did a whole class based on black and white cards with a pop of color, and everybody got a pack of this gorgeous paper. We did some really fun cards. Okay, so I'm choosing black for my focal point to put my bouquet on, and then I'm just gluing it to a piece of white cardstock for a mat to kind of make it, that makes it pop out. Doesn't that pop out really nice? Now, if you wanted, you could emboss that black, since we're not doing any stamping on it. But I wanted to use my textured embossing folder, which is already in a box somewhere for class this month. And I couldn't find it, so I said, no, we're not going to do it, because that's the one I wanted. So if you want, use the textured 3D embossing folder. Okay, let's see, that looks fairly centered. Okay, that's our base, so now let's work on our flower. Okay, so this is the other bouquet image in the set right here. So I already stamped and die cut it just to save a little bit of time. So let's do some quick coloring. So I'm using my So Saffron blends. This is the darker one. I think Daffodil Delight would look really pretty too, but I didn't have my Daffodil Delight blends. And I have a set of these ordered because they're starting to get right to the end of their life. But I will use them until they're completely empty. Okay, so I did those 3 in the So Saffron. Of course, we have to have a little bit of pink, and I keep using them on these. Since I did it on the others, I'm just going to go ahead and use the dark one first, and then the lighter one will get in there. Got a little bud right there, so don't forget him. All right, I'm not being super detailed on this. Okay, one more here. And a little one down here. There's a little teeny bud right there. Okay, but it's got lots of little flowers on here. You want to make sure you get them all. And then we have these little small ones. So I'm just kind of going over with this light, what color is this? I think it's light balmy blue. I'm just doing a little scribble for each flower. I'm not going to add the dark balmy blue. They're so small. I don't think we need a lot of shading. I think if I can get color on each one, I'll be doing good. Okay, I think that's all of our little blue flowers. Then we have our leaves. I'm just going to add a little bit of mint macaron to the veins of the leaves. Well, all the leaves are black, but this adds a little hint of a color in there. Okay, I'm not going to worry about all those little ones. That's just playing with fire now. Okay, now in the dies, we have all these fun little leaves. So I just went ahead and die cut some leaves out of Old Olive, Pear Pizzazz, and Soft Sea Foam. And I just grabbed a bunch. I used a few in my sample. I have a few here. I just did a whole bunch so I could put them in my scrap box and use for later. Okay, so we'll pick a few of those. And then of course I had the little teeny tag and the For You, so I used that. I went ahead and die cut that one. And then they have this image, which is like newsprint, and it's not words, it's just kind of little lines and then blocks. So it could go either way. So I stamped that, and then we're gonna die cut it. So this is the opening of the wrap. So you wanna make sure that it's going this way. You don't want to go this way. Now up or down doesn't really matter. And it doesn't really matter too much if it's a little bit crooked. I'm not gonna worry about that. So I'm pulling my mini cut and emboss machine. This only goes 3.5 inches wide, so make sure my paper is gonna fit. Oh, I need to rotate it with my right hand. I think everything's lined up there. Those little pops are normal, so don't freak out if you hear little pops while you're die cutting. Put that aside now. All right, so we're done with our die. And when it cuts, I'll show you the back. It's kind of hard to see on the front. There are little score lines, okay? So this is the front. It didn't cut very straight. That was one on me, but that's okay. We're not gonna worry about that because we're gonna fold this. It's just newsprint. All right, there's several little, I think 4 score lines. So I'm just gonna fold them all. And I was trying to figure out if there was like a specific way this is supposed to go. Maybe fold that in and then this can go back. You can fold it like that. I kind of liked having, I kind of folded this one in, bent it back, and I know this is probably not the way, but then this folds around, and then I just folded that one in because I wanted all newsprint showing, okay? So you can do it any way you want. There's lots of different ways to fold this, which is fun. I'm going to use a little bit of some liquid glue right there, just a teeny bit, because that does have a little bit of, what's the word? Not torque. I don't know the word. It wants to pop out. It doesn't want to stay folded in, so that's going to give it a little extra strength. Okay, now our flowers are going to poke in there. So because we're working with a little small area, I'm going to pull this back out and just glue that little bit inside of my bouquet and hold that down. Okay. Now, I want to have a little bit of greenery coming out the front. Let's go with a lighter, maybe a little bit of lighter green. I don't need a lot. I don't want to cover the flowers. I just want to add a little bit. add a little bit of texture. So we'll put that one kind of between those flowers, and maybe I'm going to add that on the outside. Let's put this little leaf in here. This is the smaller of those big leaves. I'm going to put it way down. I don't want much showing out. Okay, now we'll get some leaves coming out the back. So I'm going to put glue on the front of these leaves because I'm gluing them to the back of my bouquet. Whoop, too much glue. It's okay if the back of your bouquet doesn't look pretty because we're going to glue that down. No one is ever going to see it. Let's take one of these lighter leaves and have that coming out of the top too. Put a little glue there. It's probably too much glue. I don't want it too far up there. Okay, and then maybe what? Maybe a medium, one of the pear pizzazz leaves coming out this direction. Okay, a little bit of glue there. There, that gives it a little more texture. Okay, let's save all these for later. All right, now I'm all gluey. Before we glue this down, we want to put our tag on. So a little tip was for something like this, you kind of want it hanging, but I want to put just a little piece of dimensional to hold it in place, which makes it easier to tie my bow. So I kind of want this hanging right here where you might tie your string around to hold your bouquet closed. So let's thread that through. And we'll wrap it around and tie our bow. That should be enough. Okay, now I want to put just a teeny bit of tape, just a little bit, and put it on the back to kind of hold that up, because this is at an angle, so the ribbon wants to slide down towards the bottom, and I don't want it to. Why is that not sticking? I don't know. It was folded over on itself. Well, let's try this one more time. Let's put this down. Okay, that's sticking. All right, that will help our ribbon stay up high. Okay, and then I want to tie this right over that hole. And if it helps, you can tie a little knot first, or you could just go for the bow. Okay. Now, bow is a little big, so you just hold it and you pull the ends to make your loops a little smaller. Okay, that looks just about right. And then cut off any excess that you don't want. And there you go. Isn't that cute? I love that. Okay, let's find our card. I'm gonna pull this back in, and then I'm gonna I have this glue out, so I'm just gonna use it and put a little bit on my leaves too. All right, just to make sure they're secured and they're not gonna go anywhere later. Okay, I'm gonna just put this right in the middle. Let's just give it a little light press. Smash it down for a second. Okay, now we need a few rhinestones. Let's do a little bit of Wink of Stella on our pink flowers. Oh, I probably should have done that before I put the leaves in. That's all right. Okay, a little Wink of Stella coming through, and then I want 3 of these little rhinestones. We have a ton of these in a pack, so I'm going to put one in the center of each of these saffron flowers. That's sparkly. Trying to get a little bit of light shining on that one. There we go. Now, there's one stamp I haven't used. Now, it's Happy Mother's Day, and I'm going to kick myself because I didn't do this for Mother's Day, which is why I bought it, and then I ended up doing something else. So I'm going to stamp this, and we'll just save it for next Mother's Day. Now, I've already assembled, so I'm playing with fire because I always say stamp, then assemble, and we're just going to go for it. Yay! It turned out. That's always scary when you stamp after you've already made your card. Now, you could always add, you know, I could have covered that up with a piece of cardstock, but I lucked out and stamped it straight for the most part. Okay, so there you have it. These are today's cards featuring the Wrapped Bouquet stamp set and dies. So if you don't want to miss out on this, you can go to sandyracy.stampinup.net. You can order these until the end of the month, and then they're going to be gone. These were not carried over into the new catalog, so make sure you get those orders in. And this paper right here is also retiring, but this paper, the pink in color, is in the new catalog, so you have all year to buy that. All right, thanks everybody, and make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you would like to see more cards that I don't post on here, you can join our Facebook group. It's called Cruise Stampers Forum. I will also put a link to that in the description. All right, thanks everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.